Dushyanta, a descendant of Kuru, expanded his kingdom and ruled over a large empire. One day, he set out on a hunting trip deep into the forest. His hunting party eventually made camp near the hermitage of the famous sage, Kanva. In ancient India, the hermitages, known as ashramas, were retreats established by ascetics. These ashramas, set in remote forest areas away from bustling cities and villages, were centers of learning and spiritual wisdom. Both kings and ordinary people highly respected the ascetics who chose to live in these peaceful, secluded places, far from the struggles and distractions of everyday life. In ancient India, ashramas were like secluded forest universities where people studied sacred texts such as the Vedas and Upanishads. They also offered teachings on practical subjects like politics and economics. These ashramas were more than just places of learning, they were sanctuaries of culture and spiritual wisdom. Young men from noble families eagerly sought education there, while those tired of the world came for peace. Even the greatest rulers respected these places, treating their inhabitants with the utmost honor. The head of an ashram was called the Kulapati, or head of the colony. A well-respected Kulapati was expected to educate up to 6,000 students, providing them with free food and lodging. The ashram represented a life of simplicity and deep thought. Poets often describe the ashram life with great enthusiasm, celebrating its peaceful and harmonious atmosphere. Even in stories, it was said that deer and lions lived together in perfect harmony there. Despite some exaggerations, the ashram truly was a place of peace and learning. It served as a cultural beacon, glowing with spiritual significance and guiding those who sought wisdom and tranquility. Emperor Dushyanta, learning that the famous sage Kanva's ashram was nearby, decided to visit and show his respect. He approached the ashram humbly, walking on foot and leaving behind all signs of his royal status. At that time, sage Kanva was away on an errand, but Dushyanta was welcomed warmly as a respected guest. In the ashram, even an unexpected visitor was treated with great respect, as all guests were honored as if they were divine. Emperor Dushyanta was welcomed by a maiden named Sakuntala, who greeted him with all the ashram's hospitality. She was introduced to him as the beloved daughter of sage Kanva. This puzzled the emperor because he knew that the Kulapati, sage Kanva, was a lifelong celibate. Curious, he asked for an explanation. Sakuntala then shared the story of her birth with the emperor. Dushyanta listened with great attention, hanging on to every word she spoke, showing her sincere interest and concern. The famous sage Visvamitra was deeply engrossed in penance, which made the Lord of Heaven, Indra, quite worried. To distract Visvamitra, Indra sent the most enchanting celestial nymphs from his court, known for their seductive skills. The thought of facing the irritable sage filled these divine maidens with dread, and none were willing to take on the risky task, fearing the consequences of such an encounter. Despite their fears, Menaka, renowned for her extraordinary beauty and charm, was chosen for this challenging mission. As she descended to the spot where Visvamitra was meditating, the forest around them was in full bloom. The seasons seemed to collaborate with Menaka's mission, with the cuckoo singing sweetly in the hills and the river Malini shimmering under the southern breeze. Flowers from spring creepers gently fell on the sage, who, upon opening his eyes, saw the celestial beauty before him. At that very moment, a soft breeze stirred, causing a flutter in the scene. One day, while offering his morning prayers by the Malini River, the sage Kanva discovered a baby lying there. He picked up the infant with great care. Although ancient sages were known for their mastery over desires, they still retained their sensitivity. Kanva named the child Sakuntala, meaning the baby of the birds, due to her gentle surroundings.